What's up, y'all? It's Miles the Millennial.
And it's your boy, Rex Howard Jr.
And this is Let's Talk Like Men, the podcast where we have real conversations about real topics, giving real advice to men like you everywhere. And we're back again with another episode, man. Rex, my brother, how are you doing today?
Man, blessed and busy, dog.
Yeah,
Well, blessed and productive.
I feel that.
Blessed and productive. A lot of good things come down the pipeline, a lot of stuff I'm working on. It's
Yeah.
going to be a big week. My lady got offered the opportunity to shoot some media coverage for
Afro Tech. Yes, sir.
a company called Blavity. She got the email today realizing there's only 4 of them that's doing it.
Wow.
But I'm going to be her behind the scenes person, recording everything for us. I'm super excited. That's going to be Wednesday and Thursday. And then just busy, bro. How you feeling?
That's special, man. I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. I've been working my tail off,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to find that space, that balance to where it's like, hey, don't get so focused on these 1 or 2 areas of your life that you neglect other areas that are super important too. So, I think that's a continuous journey, especially when you're a man that's on a mission,
Yeah.
right? Because missions don't always have, they may have one final goal, but that doesn't mean they have one thing happening at a time.
Thanks.
So managing those things and stewarding what God has blessed you with well, that's the journey that I'm on right now. And I believe that I'm slowly but surely getting better and better and better at it. And I'm blessed to be here, man,
Yeah.
because I think we got something powerful to talk to the people about today. I think the fellas really are gonna need to hear this.
Yeah.
And that's gonna help them in the future when they're dealing with relationships and women and making sure that they're being loved for the right reasons, right?
Absolutely.
So let's hop into it. Today's episode, man. When you send me this topic, I'm like, whew, that's really good because it's definitely something that I think a lot of men have an internal fear about,
Yeah.
but don't necessarily know how to go about things in the right way to set a certain standard, right? Um, in this episode, we're going to talk about how to make sure she falls in love with your heart and not in love with your hand.
Yes, sir.
Now, Rex, you came up with this topic, and I want you to explain it to the people up front so they kind of understand where we're coming from with it.
Yeah.
What do you mean by somebody falling in love with your heart versus someone falling in love with your hand?
Absolutely. So let's give a scenario. The reason why I brought this up, right? So I'm in a coaching session with a young man, and he's a provider,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's been taught that his whole life. You work hard, you get a really good job, and then once you get settled in, you start making some money.
Mm.
You take care of your mom, you take care of the woman that's in your life, and you take care of your siblings, right? But he hasn't been taught much else.
Yeah.
He was like, Rex, I'm in a place in my life where I'm looking for a serious relationship, but I want to be able to trust that she's with me for me and not for what I can provide.
Mhm.
He was like, because I'm used to, paying for trips. I'm used to buying bags and buying shoes. He had a rollie. I think like 26, 27 had a rollie on.
Yeah.
At least I'm used to dishing the money out. And I just asked one simple question. I said, if you could never spend another dime on a woman, how would she know that you love her?
Hmm.
And he was stuck.
Hmm.
And he was stuck, dog. He was like, Rex, the first thing that came to my mind is, the 5 different love languages. But as I think about that, I don't even do that.
Yeah.
I'm not really the type, I don't serve too much. I'm not really empathetic. I had a certain way of dealing with my own trauma, so I don't really sit in emotions well. I don't deal with crying too well. Sometimes I have a hard time controlling my emotions. But if I had to take money off the table, I don't think they would know that I love them at all.
Hmm.
And I said, okay, so the people in your life, especially the woman in your life, she's going to fall in love with your hand and not with you because you don't even know how to be anything without having money.
That's good, bro.
So once I had that session, I was like, oh, man,
Yeah.
I'm about to eat this up on
Yeah.
the pie.
Yeah.
Because I want to be intentional, especially coming from the perspective of 2025 is the year I started making money,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
But I've been dating for a long time.
Yeah.
Which means I've had to learn how to date and show my heart and to show my character, my integrity, and just to serve in a way that made women fall in love with me versus dishing out the bread, because that was something I was never in position to do. So
Mhm.
I kind of know what it feels like to have a woman love me for me.
Mhm.
So my purpose in today, and I hope same thing for you, is to give tangible advice that brothers can take away today that they can start doing to make sure that the woman that they're with doesn't fall in love with their hand. Now, last thing I'll say is this as I preface it. It's always good to have money,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, money's going to take care of you. Money's going to take care of your family. Money's going to take care of a lot of things you want to do. So by no means are we saying that it's okay to be broke. By
Yeah.
no means.
Yeah.
But we are saying that it's not okay to only provide money without providing anything else.
That's good. That's good. Man, this is gonna be a great episode. This is gonna be a great one. I feel like this is gonna be one of the ones that stands the test of time. So
Yeah.
without further ado, man,
Hey, let's
let's
start
talk
it.
like men. All right, cool. You wanna go first or me?
Man, I like you to set it off.
All right, bet. Cool. So if you want a woman to fall in love with your heart and not fall in love with your hand, then from the beginning, you need to start by leading with your heart and not with your hand.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is so many men, very similar to the guy you just talked about. The only way that they know how to show up is financially,
yep.
is by doing things for this person, right? Buying them what they want, taking them out on expensive dates, whining and dining them, showing them the world from a financial perspective to
Yep.
say, hey man, look at what it means to be with me. I got all this money, even if they don't have it, but they'll spend their last because they believe that that's the way that they are to court or to have this woman come into attraction with them. And the problem with that mindset is you never really know who's loving you for you,
Yeah.
right? Because what ends up happening is you have a lot of people who will take advantage of that. There will be women who are in that phase in their life where I'm not trying to have anything serious. I don't trust men. I don't whatever it is with these men. So I'm gonna get the free dates. I'm gonna take the free trips.
Yep.
I'm gonna do all those different things. Go out for the night and have him, pay for me and my girls to have a great time. And I don't really care about him. I've seen those conversations take place amongst women that are around in my life who are in certain spaces where they just don't care
At all.
about a man for anything else than his hand.
Right.
Right. And what gets all those dudes caught up is because they go into it leading with money.
Hmm.
And I always say, like, you need to value the character of a man over the currency of the man. But many men's character is built only on their currency.
100%.
Right. And so even think about it when a man has no money to his name, a lot of men say, I don't want to date at all.
Yeah.
I don't want love at all. Why? Because they don't feel lovable.
Yeah.
Because in many men's minds, to be loved means I have to be able to provide fully. I have to be able to protect fully. I have to be able to be all these things. They don't see the value in becoming. They don't see the value in saying, hey, I'm in a season right now where I don't have this aspect, but I'm really strong in these aspects. And there's a woman out there that's for me that will love me for this aspect while I grow in my finances.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that I'm so thoughtful. I'm so creative. I'm so, intimate with my words that I can give this woman an amazing type of love. And I can continue to grow and cultivate in these other areas so that I can give her a financial love as well that allows her life to be a little bit easier. But if you go into it leading with money, then all you will ever be loved for is your money. You want to be loved for your heart? Lead with your heart.
Yeah. And what's so powerful about that, brother, is not only do some men have it in their minds, but culturally, that's what they've been brought up and conditioned to believe,
Yeah.
right? You aren't a man if you can't pay for this. You aren't a man if you can't provide. But
Yeah.
this is what I've learned, right? Especially by sitting with men in the office. When you hyper focus on provision,
Mm.
there's always a deficit somewhere else.
Yes. Yes.
There's an emotional deficit.
Yes.
There's sometimes a spiritual deficit.
Hmm.
Sometimes there's a deficit around communication. So you can give all the money in the world, but
Mm.
when it's time to sit down and have a heartfelt conversation, you can't sit in it. When it's time for you to create space for your wife to be emotional or cry because she's grieving, you don't know how to do that, right?
Exactly.
Because you'll never given the time or space to do that. So there's all these deficits. So money for you makes everything happy. Okay,
Yeah.
money's gonna buy her flowers, money's gonna
Yeah.
take her on dates, money's gonna take her shopping. If I could keep her busy with things,
Yes.
then I don't have to entertain her with myself.
Yes. And a lot of men don't like themselves.
Right.
I think a lot of this really does come back to your own root traumas as a man.
Yep.
And so it's like, if I've never been valued growing up for being anything else or seen a man be valued for anything else than what he could pay for,
Yeah.
well, then that's my understanding and my belief is that without this money, why would she stay?
Yep.
And so it's funny because money will become your solution to all things.
Mhm.
So when she needs somebody to hold her and just let her vent, you're so uncomfortable with the conversation. You say, "Hey, you know what? Let's go shopping. Let me take you buy you whatever you want." And your answer is retail therapy for everything for her.
Yep.
And yeah, she might like that at first, but after a while, that is not going to be enough. And she's going to say, "Where are you present outside of just spending money.
Yeah.
When we need to have a conversation that goes deeper than just your quick solution.
Yeah.
And I need you to open up. You don't have anything to give.
Yeah.
You got a bank account that's full of zeros, but you are defaulting in all other areas of your life.
Yeah.
So I that is so true. Is like, and many men do know this about themselves. They just don't want to admit it. Um, Many men do understand that, yes, the reason why I lead with money is because I know I don't have the capacity in these other areas.
Yeah.
And so if this is an easier way and a more comfortable way for me to be able to get what I desire in life, to get a wife, to have a family, is for me to lead with this money and make sure she doesn't have to pay no bills or worry about a
Yeah.
thing. And that'll keep her calm, keep her quiet, keep her from complaining, then so be it.
Yeah.
But what you end up with is a house that's not a home,
Yeah.
right? What you end up with is a continuous feeling that I'm not enough and a pressure on you to perform rather than to be.
Man, and to add to that, right? If you feel like you have to hit a certain point before you can start dating,
Mm.
just imagine the pressure to maintain it when you finally get the woman. Just imagine the pressure that you get if you lose that job,
Mm.
right?
When them kids start coming in the
Come on
picture.
now, and you have to keep working, and you
Yeah.
can't take no sick days, you can't take no pay. You have to continue performing, and it's just like the thought process. One of my guys is becoming a pilot, and I asked him. I said, "Do you want your wife to be with you because you're a pilot, or you want her to be with you because of who you are?"
Mhm.
Right? Because if she's with you because of a title, when that title goes away, then
Exactly.
what?
Exactly.
When you're ready to switch careers, or you're ready to retire, and or you no longer bringing in the bacon like you used to bring in the bacon,
Mm.
or let's just say you get hurt and you can't no more,
Mhm.
then what?
Yep.
Then what? So what you said is really, really good, man.
Man, and I want to say one more thing because you just went there. You said, "Do you want her to love you for who you are or for a title?" And my question further that, if your answer is I want a woman to love me for me, then shouldn't she be able to love you for who you are right now?
Yep.
Right? Because that means one of two things to me.
Yep.
If you say no, that means you don't like the person that you are right now. And you need to figure out why that is that you feel the person you are right now is unattractive. And it's because of what your pockets look like. Brother, I need you to value yourself for more than that.
Yep.
You are undervaluing who you are. But two, if the answer is yes, and you say yes, I mean she should be able to love me for who I am, then what are you waiting for?
Yep.
Why is it that you're waiting until you make the six figures a year to go find them? And I'll tell you something. I have a friend, a brother of mine, a very close brother of mine, who has done a lot of schooling and he deserves the pay that he's about to be receiving.
Then
Right? A lot of money. I'm not gonna say the profession because if I do, people gonna know who I'm talking about. And I don't want to say nobody's pockets. But all I'm gonna say is this person is going to be making well over $500,000 a year, right? At a young age. And he talks about often how he wanted to find somebody
yeah.
before, he started going through all of this and gets to the paycheck because his thing is it's going to be easy for you to love me now when I have all these things.
Yeah.
But I also saw this same brother play around a lot when he had the women in his life that loved him before he had those
Yeah.
things. And so we're in a catch 22
Yeah.
in a lot of ways where it's like, well, do you have the humility to be the guy that can be loved for himself?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you get that money, ain't nobody gonna be able to tell you nothing. If we being honest, that woman ain't gonna be able to tell you nothing. That money to you is gonna keep her quiet or whatever, and I can go do whatever I want to do, and she better not say nothing. Because guess what? She get to drive that nice car. She get to live in this big old house. She don't have to work.
Yeah.
She get to be a stay at home mom and travel all she wants. A lot of men, it's an easier way out just to focus on money than to go deeper into their own personal battles and become a better human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if she can love you for who you are now, then what you waiting for?
Absolutely. Man, that's good. Let me go ahead and my
Yeah,
point
point
number
number
one, man.
two, bro. Or point
Now,
number one. Yes, sir.
if you want a woman to fall in love with you and not your hand, right? You need to look for ways to serve her,
Mm.
right? And if you can't find one, create one, right? So, real time examples. My lady and I would get together where a couple months in, maybe 9, 10 months in, she lives an hour away from me,
Mhm,
right? She knew my routine. I go work, then I get off and I go study at the coffee shop until about 10 p.m.
mhm,
One night she texts me, she's like, I'm not feeling the best. Like I got this head cold, my stomach's kind of feeling weird. And immediately I look at the map location. Okay, it take me right now an hour and 5 minutes to get to her spot. I said, okay. I didn't tell her what I was gonna do. I drove to her crib. Before I got there, I got some medicine. You know what I'm saying? I got some treats that she liked. and I got a teddy bear.
Mhm.
Showed up at the crib. Her dad was like, "What you doing here?" I was like, "I just want to make sure that Glory's good." And he really appreciated that. I sat there with her for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I drove an hour back home.
Mm.
Right. Another example. I made sure that every single door, I was gonna get every single door.
Yeah.
Every single month, she's gonna get flowers.
Yeah.
Right. Every single day, I'm gonna take the opportunity to pray for her.
Yeah.
Right. If there's something that if she needs me to help her study, if she needs me to help her take care of something, if she needs me to help her move, I'm looking for ways to serve her. I'm not waiting to be asked
Yeah.
to serve. I
Yeah.
am looking for things to do.
Absolutely.
Right. Because I wanted her to know that she was valued. I wanted her to know that she was important. I want her to know that she was a priority in my life. So if you are a man that's out there and you are so quick to give money, how about you stop doing that and look for ways to serve them with your time? Look for ways to serve them with your energy. Look for ways to serve them with your sacrifices and just with your efforts.
That's good. That's really good. You know, part of this show and why I love it for men is because it helps us both grow.
Yeah,
Like we grow from each other in the
100%.
conversations that we have. And I guarantee you, when we started back up almost 2 years ago now, back last February or 2 Februarys ago, this would have been 2024. Man, one of the things that impressed me so much about you was the way you would talk about how you would go out of your way to find a way to serve,
Yeah,
right? And I think that I did that to a certain extent, but I didn't have the heart for it yet. That was not something that I made up as a desire. It was just something I did as an obligation. And there's a difference in doing something what you say because you want to
yeah.
versus you have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
There is a difference between want to and have to. And when I made it up in my mind that I'm trying to develop and become a better man day by day, that I want to be a husband, that I want to be a father, and that I don't want to just be those things. I want to be great examples of those things. Right. I want to not just be a husband, but I want to be the husband that she can say, God blessed me with this man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The father that my children can say, my dad was a man of God. Like in order for
100%.
me to become that, I had to grow. And those conversations with you talking about that forced me to grow. I made a decision in my mind. It was gonna have to start being some death that takes place in my ego, some death that takes place in my level of comfortability. I had to start doing some uncomfortable things. I had to start sacrificing in ways that I typically would have just been selfish
Yeah.
in. And that is the exact mindset that I now carry is I'm looking for ways to serve. And I can't say that I'm so much to the point to where it is always easy.
Yeah.
There are times where I really don't want to do this. But in the past, I would have sat there, moaned, groaned, complained about it, maybe not even did it at all, or did it, but did it with a bad attitude.
Yeah.
But I changed my mindset and say, you get to, bro.
Yeah.
You get to.
Yeah.
And now, because of that, I can sit in certain spaces when it's time for me to serve and say, this is an opportunity, bro. You're blessed to have somebody that calls on you when tough times are happening.
Yeah.
And I thought about this just yesterday. My lady had called me, and this isn't about money because, you know, she had just asked me, she's like, babe, she's in school, so she's living off of student loans, right? So money costs a lot,
Yeah.
right? And she's like, babe, you think you could, order me some food? I know she may have something in the house, but she tired. She don't feel like getting up to cook, right? And it's only $15. I could really sit there and say, girl, you better cook that food, budgeted for them groceries.
No, literally.
And there are times where I'll do that just because it's just from a discipline perspective. We don't need to always be eating out, but it's like she's working hard, man, and she's doing her best. How blessed are you to have the opportunity to have a woman who says, I can trust in my man to come to him with something that's stressing me out
Yeah.
and ask him to help me with it, and he will.
Yeah.
And she's done that in a multitude of ways that don't require any type of funds, but that's just a thought process that you have to get to as a man to say, it's not about what I can pay for. It's about a mindset of servitude and sacrifice.
Yeah. And that's what's going to matter, and that's what's going to stick,
Yeah.
right? A woman's father will be able to tell if you're a man that serves,
Mm,
and he's going to appreciate that. When you are sacrificing, you're paying attention, you are anticipating needs, right?
yeah.
The first year we was together, she was gearing up to go to Nigeria,
Hmm.
um, you know, for Dead of December. And then I remember her saying, man, it's time for me to get some new luggage.
Hmm.
I said, all right.
Noted.
I never went luggage shopping before.
Boy,
Boy.
expensive.
so So I go check out the stores. I'm looking at some prices. I said, okay, cool. I find a nice set. I was like, I want something sturdy. I want something that's gonna be nice and aesthetic because she's a content
Mhm.
creator. And I got this nice three-piece set.
Mhm.
And I pull up at her dad's crib, knock on the door. He comes to the door. He's like, you moving in? Yeah. You go you going somewhere?
He laid at you.
I said, "No, man. I brought these for your daughter. No, she's getting ready to go to Nigeria." And the biggest smile came on his face.
Mhm.
Right, her mom come walking down the stairs. Oh, those are nice. Who are those for? I said, "I bought these for your daughter." Extremely geeked, and she
Yeah.
ran back upstairs to go grab my lady. My lady came downstairs, got surprised her with her. She is extremely happy as well. But when you have a father that is used to providing for his daughter
Mhm.
because she was still staying at home
Mhm.
and used to taking on that financial load or just responsibility because that's his kid.
Yep.
And now he sees a man coming into her life that's willing to serve, willing to sacrifice, willing to put
Exactly.
forth the same effort.
That's
Man,
real.
that's what I'm saying. He appreciate
Yep.
that. And it can be the smallest things, right? So, but yeah, what you got for your point number two before
Man,
we
my
keep going?
point number 2. If you want a woman to fall in love with your heart and not your hand, if you want her to fall in love with you for who you are, and how much you care about her versus how much you spend on her, be vulnerable enough to let her know the cost of your hand.
Mm, man, talk about it.
This one right here gonna be this is gonna be a difficult one for many of us, um, because as you're raised up as a man, you're told, you pay for things, you provide for things, and don't ever complain, don't ever explain to no woman how much it is, because that's weak or that's vulnerable, or you're giving her too much information that she gonna use against you. She gonna be counting the cost. She gonna this, she gonna that. And I think that you set yourself up for your woman to think that it's just so easy,
Yeah,
right? For your woman to believe that, oh, this ain't nothing for him, because you make it look easy,
yeah,
because you do it with a smile on your face. That because even when times are difficult, she doesn't know how much stress you're under to try and take care of something,
yeah,
right? You hear a need that she has,
yeah,
right? And immediately you try to develop in that area to fulfill that need. I'll take it away from finances. Let's just say you see that she is struggling to study for her exams,
yeah,
right? And she's barely passing them, or she wants to get a higher score on them. You don't know nothing about this topic.
yeah,
But you say, you know what? This means too much to her. And I want to see her succeed. Right. And so then you now put yourself in the position. Let me start reading up on this topic. Let me start looking up strategies for how people can remember information better than what maybe she's been using. Maybe she needs an audio an version of learning. Maybe she's a visual learning. And you start to study her with your time. It's not about the money. You start to study her with your time so that you can be so prepared to be able to pour into her to help her succeed in the area of her life that she's struggling in, right? But that takes a lot out of you, right? And so when she comes around, why are you so tired? You don't seem to have the same energy for me. Why can't we do this? Why don't you want to go out? Why do you just want to rest? She never knows how much effort that you're putting in just to be able to help and show up for her in the way she needs to be showed up for.
yeah,
And I think that sometimes it's okay to open up and say, I'm not gonna lie to you, babe. I haven't slept in a week. Well, why you haven't slept in a week? I've been studying, trying to help you, with your test. That's why I've been writing the flashcards down. I have actively had to do that. I've lost sleep multiple nights helping my lady get through PA school, right? There are times where I'm so tired that I don't even have time for the things that I want to or need to do for myself, but I sacrifice for her because it mean that much to me for her to be able to succeed,
absolutely.
right? For her to know that she's supported. Even if she just needs to sit up and talk about it so she can speak what she's learning out into the open. And I can give a million and one other examples of that, but sometimes you got to let them know this cost me something.
Yeah,
And I think that when a woman can see how much you're sacrificing to be there, and she knows this wasn't easy for him to do,
yeah,
she loves you not because you did it, but because you had the heart for her in the first place to even consider doing
yeah,
it. Right. And that sets a foundation to where it's not about the money, it's not about the end result. It's about the fact that he's willing to sacrifice. That's the definition of sacrifice.
yeah,
Is it a sacrifice if it's easy?
yeah.
Is it a sacrifice if you can throw the money or the time away and because you have plenty of it to spare?
Right.
No. And that doesn't mean you love somebody. That's easy to do. Love shows up. How somebody can love you and how you love them shows up when people are put in uncomfortable situations where they got something to lose
Yeah.
and seeing what they choose.
And so the one thing that's coming to mind is a question, right?
Yeah.
Um, expressing your vulnerability or
Yeah.
being vulnerable and expressing what it cost you,
Yeah.
what's the difference between doing that and complaining about the work?
It's the spirit behind it, right? When I'm complaining, first off, complainers have a mindset before they even do it, right? They have an energy before they even do it. And it's one of, man, I really don't want to do this at all. I have no desire to do this. And I'm really only doing this because I'm forced to do it.
Yeah.
That's complaining.
Okay.
Complaining is being in a mode where you look at every single thing not as an opportunity to advance and grow or to stretch yourself, right? Except this is a moment that's setting you back. This is something that's getting in the way. This is something that I'd rather be doing other things. And quite honestly, if I had to just keep you happy, I wouldn't do it at all. Somebody who's being vulnerable about how much something costs them, first off, you're not saying it with a spirit of trying to get pity. I'm not trying to have you feel bad for me because I'm explaining to you what this cost me. I just want you to understand the fullness of how much I love you,
Yeah.
right? Which is a spirit of gratitude, a spirit of saying, I'm trying to grow.
Yep.
And so, yes, this was an area that was tough for me, but it was worth it,
Yep.
right? It's the spirit behind it. So many things in life can be taken one way or another when you look at the spirit behind why somebody is saying or doing something,
Yep.
right? But complaining, a man who complains, he'll never go far, no matter how much he does,
Yep.
because he doesn't have a mindset to seek it. You don't seek what you complain about. A man who's willing to be vulnerable at how much something costs him can very well be willing to seek that which is going to make him struggle because he knows that it's going to be worth it in the
Yep.
end. Right. I there are so many things in life that I can think about just personally. Do I have to complain about going to the gym? No. I don't complain about going to the gym,
Yep.
right? I know that it's gonna suck some days. I know that some days I don't feel like doing it, but I know that it's worth it. So I don't complain. I don't have a complaining spirit about the gym. I look at the gym as an opportunity to challenge and grow me in life.
Yep.
It's the same thing when it comes to the things that cost you in your relationship. Do you look at them as a barrier or do you look at them as an opportunity?
That's good.
Barrier, complainer. Opportunity, grower,
That's good.
willing to be vulnerable.
That's good. So in other words, you're saying when it's come to talking about being vulnerable about the cost, I'm not complaining about the work. I'm just
Mhm.
letting you know this is the cost of the work.
Yes,
Right. Sometimes I may not have the energy because I'm pouring so much into you. Sometimes I
exactly.
may not have the time because I'm putting it in other places. Okay. I like that.
And guess what? When you do that, you also present that woman with an opportunity to show her heart.
Yeah.
Because one thing about a woman that loves you, when she notices that you are giving so much
Yeah.
to take care of her, she seeks and finds ways for herself to take care of you too.
Yeah.
But guess what? When you walk around with the spirit of either I'm not going to say anything or a complaining spirit, then what ends up happening is you get a woman that can never show up for you.
Yeah.
Because one, she doesn't know how much it costs you in the first place. She thinks this is easy. Oh, my man, my man, my man. No, no, no. I don't want just a my man, my man, my man woman. I want a woman that says, my man sacrifices for me. My man works hard for me. And therefore, I also do the same thing for him.
Yeah.
This isn't just, I don't want you to just be a princess. I want you to be a queen. You understand what I'm saying? I want you to be a queen. I want you to be able to man the kingdom if I can't for one reason or another. I'm having a bad day. I'm having a down week. I'm sick. I'm hurt. Whatever is going on, I got somebody that's willing to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
How could she step up to the plate if she doesn't even know what she's up against?
Yeah.
Right? That's like not telling somebody that they're about to go bat in a baseball game and so they show up with a tennis racket. They're going to be ineffective, right? They have no power. But if you let somebody know, like, hey, we playing baseball today,
Yeah.
you might have to pitch hit.
It's gonna be different. Yeah.
They know what they're stepping into. People should know the cost of things. It does not mean, and don't get me wrong, I know there's gonna be especially older men that are gonna say, nah, brother, when you get older, you're gonna understand this is that and that. No, no, no. That's how we've been taught to live. I have personally seen this firsthand happen in multiple relationships, not only my parents. I've seen it happen with multiple mentors of mine. And when you have a relationship where the husband doesn't say anything, he looks at the woman as a burden, right? Because he doesn't open up about what she's quote unquote costing him.
Yeah.
And you have a wife that looks at the husband as somebody who can't ever open up.
Yeah.
But when they're open about the money, when they're open about the finances, and he says, that's okay, I'm gonna take this load,
Yeah.
she's appreciative of him
Yeah.
and she's worth it to him.
Yeah. And she's also mindful,
Absolutely.
right? She's mindful. She's not trying to take advantage of you.
Mm,
She's
mm,
realized that she's that she deserves things because she
Yes.
sacrifices time.
Yes.
She realized that you love her and that this is the energy that you want to put into her,
Mhm.
but she's not going to try to take advantage of you,
Exactly.
which is going to be really good. And that leads to a generosity war,
Yeah.
right?
That's good.
If you are pouring so much into your woman, right,
Mhm.
and you have a good woman with a good heart,
Mhm.
she's going to say, "How can I do the same thing for him?"
Yes.
Right? Have a couple that I'm working with. The man is in a great financial position. He's in his 40s. The lady is in school trying to figure things out. She's in her 30s. And she was just like, Rex, sometimes I get upset because I'm not able to give him gifts like I want to.
Mm.
I come from nothing.
Mhm.
She was just like, but and he was like, but babe, I don't care about
That's
that.
not what I want. Yeah.
Right. He was like, the fact that you show up for me, the fact that you offer to take care of the crib, the fact that you offer to spend time with me on your off days, and you like to watch movies, and you like to make me dinners and present them in a certain way that I really, that is what matters to me.
Yes.
And he was like, I don't care about this money stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it allows each other to, okay, if he shows up for me in this way, I can show up for him in this way.
Mhm.
You have a generosity war. And if you can build a relationship where you're having a generosity war, man, things are just beautiful.
It is, man. You get to this state where it's like, how can I not sacrifice for this person when I can so actively see the sacrifices that they make for me?
100%.
And that changes so much. And it once again, I think one of the biggest things that causes resentment is words left unsaid, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. And one of the things that also goes along with resentment is how would you say this spirit where you constantly think that this person is ungrateful,
Yep.
right? I hear that, especially hear that for a lot of men.
Yep.
A lot of men's biggest thing because they're so focused on the finances, she don't understand how much it's costing me, and yet she's keep asking for
And
more.
she don't
She
appreciate
don't
it.
appreciate nothing. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, let her know the cost, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I think that that's a real conversation we need to have is, are you less of a man because you let her know that, yeah, this stretched me? Like this really, that was my last dime. What I did to make sure you was good there was my last time. And not saying it because you want pity,
Yeah.
but saying because you want her to know that's how much I love you,
Yeah.
right? But please be mindful. Please, please, please look out for me, right? Like I done spent a lot on this. Please don't ask for nothing for another month. Wait till the next paycheck hit, right? Like
Yeah.
these are real conversations to have though,
100%.
because when you don't, you constantly feel like, damn, girl, I just got you this, and you asking me for something. I just spent $1,000 for this last week, and you trying to tell me about a trip? I don't think I'm thinking about a trip right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about saving. I'm thinking about recouping this $1,000 somewhere because that was really meant for this, but I gave it to you to make sure you were good here because I
100%.
love you, right? That's why you need to open up. You got to be vulnerable if you don't want her to fall in love with your hand.
That's
Show her
good.
your heart.
Man, that's good. Man, number two,
Yes, sir.
if you want her to fall in love with you, not with your hand, you need to constantly increase your knowledge and wisdom,
Hmm.
right? Women love a man that they can learn from.
Yeah.
Women love a man that they can go to and ask questions. Women love a man that can go below the surface and engage in conversations outside of your basic sports,
Yeah.
right? What's going on in the news. She wants a man that has knowledge and wisdom, right? She wants a man that's able to sit around a table with her colleagues and engage in conversations, a man that's able to sit with her father. And
Mm.
that's one thing my lady appreciates about me, right? Um, her dad is a great guy and he's full of wisdom, but he's one of those guys that he doesn't share the wisdom unless you're willing to listen.
Hmm.
So before I asked for, her hand in marriage, I had to go sit on that couch
Yeah.
many nights,
Hours.
hours at a time. And the only reason I had the endurance to sit in those conversations is because I knew my Bible,
Yeah.
right? I kind of know what's going on in the news. I kind of I can engage in conversations outside the normal things, and that's one thing she sat and appreciate. She was like, not many people can do that with my dad,
Hmm.
and that made her fall in love with me more.
Mm.
Because she was like, if you can do this with my dad, just imagine how much patience you will have for me.
Yeah.
Just imagine how much patience you may have with the kids.
Hmm.
So if you want to become a man, like I said, that your woman is enthralled by, that she loves, become a man that's full of knowledge and wisdom, right? Become a man that she can go to for questions. Become a man that she can learn from, that she can pull information from. Become a man that she can sit and talk to for hours. Because you don't want to be that man that is always What you doing?
Mhm.
Okay, bet. What you doing?
Yep.
Like constantly, you don't have no conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would say for the next one.
That's good. I really enjoy the fact that you said that because one of the realities is you got to give a woman something to love if you don't want her to just fall in love with you for your money.
Yep.
And a lot of us as men are very shallow and we don't have no depth,
Yep.
right? If I'm saying it's like there's a depth to us, but we just don't dive into it.
Yep.
We don't read, we don't study, we don't want to go into any space that's the unknown because quite frankly, it's more comfortable for our ego to not feel like we're inadequate in the
Yep.
area. And if so, if I can avoid an area where I don't know nothing, I don't have to feel inadequate,
Yep.
right? But if you can get comfortable with the feeling of being uncomfortable, of being somebody that's a novice, that doesn't know a lot, and saying, man, I want to dive into this space and learn, then you can become a better provider,
Yep.
right? And I don't just mean that financially, right? If I need to be in a place of emotional provision, but I have never studied myself,
Yep.
if I've never studied the human condition, if I've never studied any form of psychology, been to therapy, done anything that stretched my emotional intelligence, then I can't provide any level of depth when it comes to emotions,
Yep.
right? And that's again going to just lead to you being a man that the only thing she can love you for is your pockets,
Yep.
right? Is the things that you can do, not who you can be, not how you can listen, not how you can advise, but the things you can buy with a checkbook,
Yep.
right? one of one of my friends told me, she said there was this guy that she knew, and she's like they kind of dated, but it wasn't really dating. They talked very surface level. But she said he would tell her about all this nonsense he was getting into and been in his life. And then years later, they came around each other and he told her that he loved her and she didn't say nothing. Right. And he when he saw her a couple years later, he asked her, well, why didn't you say anything whenever, I told you I loved you? Like when I told you that back then, she said, well, one, we only knew each other for 2 weeks. And two, if I'm being honest, you didn't give me a lot to love.
Mm,
And I told her, I said, first off, that was harsh.
yeah,
But I told her, I said, but
that's
it was
real.
true. It's a very true thing that you said. What have you given her to love?
Yeah.
And if all you can account for and saying to show your love, like you mentioned with the story you told at the beginning, is things. If that's all you have, well, things are temporary, man. And that means the love is temporary.
Yeah.
And it's only as good as your last performance.
Yeah.
And that has to be an exhausting place to
or
be as a man.
or last purchase.
Or the last purchase. Precisely. That's an exhausting place to be as a man because you always got to perform.
Yeah.
Got to outdo the last time I bought her something. I bought her a ring. Now I got to buy a car.
Yep.
Now I got to buy a house. Now I got to buy a mansion. Now I got to buy an island. And I'm not saying those things aren't great.
Yeah.
Hey, if that's a part of the thing that keeps you pushing and striving because you want to bless your wife in those ways and pouring, that's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Go
One
ahead.
more thing I want to add to this point. More than just learning more knowledge and having more understanding in different areas, right? Learn what she's interested in.
Yeah.
If you really want your woman to fall in love with you, learn about things that she's interested in, right? Um, Perfect example when I met her, okay, you're Nigerian. Okay, there's a different culture.
Hmm.
All right, bro, I spent hours on TikTok, hours on YouTube learning the culture, right? Learning about her tribe, learning about her village, learning about the traditions that come from being married,
Yeah.
learning about the bride's fee and with the palm wine and the masquerade, learning as much as I could. So when I'm faced in situations and she was trying to tell me stuff, I said, okay, so that's so and so.
Hmm.
But how'd you know about
How
that?
you know
I've been
that?
researching.
Yeah.
I've been researching, like, when you find interest in the thing that she's interested in, when you start loving the things that she loves, when you start researching things that she's researching, and then you can start even thinking for her sometimes. So, perfect example, my lady was just like, I want to get into books.
Mm.
I said, okay. And I was like, what kind of topics are you interested in? She kind of laid them out for me. So now, not only am I learning what she's interested in, and I'm learning more about myself and about things of the world, I'm buying her books that we can both share,
Yeah.
right? So not only are we learning, I'm learning my own, she's learning, but we're learning together, and now we can ask each other questions.
Mhm.
And it just makes the conversations deep. It makes the relationship deep, and it creates something that goes. below the surface level.
Yes.
There's more depth to it.
That's good. Bought her a Bible, not a Birkin bag.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all know the song, then hey, it's gonna hit.
Uh,
That's good, man. That's really good.
what's your third point?
My point number three. If you want a woman to fall in love with you for you and not fall in love with you because of the things you buy, you need to let discipline be one of the main things that she loves about you.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is discipline is not only the key to allowing you to be able to say yes to a lot of things in the future because you stayed focused and on a certain path. It's also the thing that if somebody loves your discipline, they have to get very comfortable with your ability to say no,
100%.
right? Um, and if you're somebody who always is leading with your hand, you don't say no,
Yep.
right? She asks for it, she gets it. Anything she wants, yeah. And I love my woman, right? And she knows she can come to me for a lot of things and she can ask me for a lot of things. But one thing that she knows and honors, and one of the things that I respect about her the most is that she respects my no,
Yeah.
right? She may come, babe, can we do this? Can we do that? Because she a woman. She's going to do that. And I'm okay with that. Like that comes with the territory being in a heterosexual relationship. Women, they like things. Women, they like to experience
Yeah.
things. They like to go see the world. They like to go try new events and expand their taste, right? As a man, I understand that that's what comes with it. But she also understands that me being the man, that when she gives me these things, now my mind goes into can we do this mode?
Yeah.
All right. How much is this going to cost? Do we have the time and the capacity to take care of this? What are our priorities that we need to be worried about right now? She doesn't have to think about all that.
Yeah.
She can throw it out in the air. I'm going to do that thinking.
Yeah.
Right. But when I say, hey, babe, I'm not going to lie, we can't do that right now, right? For whatever reason that is, she respects that.
Yeah.
She's gonna ask why. Well, why? What's going on? And I have no problem with that. She can ask me questions. This isn't a dictatorship. But when we have the conversation, she gets to a point to where she realizes, okay, well, that's fair. And if she really wants to do it, she may go do it on her own. She may go do it with her homegirls, and that's completely fine because we don't have an unhealthy relationship in a way to where everything that we do, we have to do together. But at the same time, she respects my no enough to wait.
Yeah.
She respects my no enough to say, well, hey, how can I help? If I really want to do this, can I buy the tickets? Can I take something off your plate so you actually have more time for us to go? What's stressing you out in your life? Well, I got a vision, I got a framework I'm trying to build out. And until I get that built out, I'm not going out. I can't do nothing right now.
Yeah.
I gotta focus. Well, let's get together and let's build out your framework. All right, cool. Now we can go do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Let discipline be what she falls in love with. Because if she can fall in love with the fact that you are a disciplined man, no woman can love a disciplined man, but then hate his no.
Yeah.
But if your man has only been a giver all the time, that's all he give, give, give. And you surprised when you end up with a woman that takes, and has no comfort when you say no. And when you say no, you don't love me no more.
Yeah.
You're neglecting me. You don't care about me,
Yeah.
right? When you get a taker and all you've done is given, that's where you end up in a situation where it's like, man, I don't feel like I'm being loved for who I am. And the day that I don't have this, where would she be?
Yeah. And if I lose it, will she stay?
Man.
9 times out of 10, if your answer's always been yes, 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 if you lose it and you have to say no, she's
Mm-hmm.
going.
Mm-hmm. Saying no in a season when you can say yes, that's powerful too.
Yeah.
And a lot of men, I've been in this position where I was making plenty of money and I could do whatever I wanted. I was making a lot of money. I was still in college on a full ride. So that money was just sitting there. And I remember I bought her a MacBook. That MacBook was brand new, cost $1,100. My parents looked at me and said, what you doing, dog? And they weren't mad. And she bought me some expensive stuff too. But my parents were like, sometimes y'all need to think about the fact that like, hey, y'all are only 21 years old.
Yeah.
She's 19, you're 21. Like, it's okay for you guys to take your time and not have to do these expensive splurging purchases right away. It's okay for you not have to go fly out into another country and you're 22 years old. But there's so much pressure on people nowadays. There's so much pressure on relationships nowadays that if we're not flying out and seeing the world, we're failing.
Yeah.
It's like, but what if you're in a season where y'all need to be disciplined and saying no?
Yeah.
Right? Y'all really would rather spend $2,000 to go to Thailand than save that $2,000 because you know that you're working towards something really important for your life.
Make it make sense.
You got a car that you need to be trying to get because you still got your homeboys taking you places, but you want to take this girl on a trip. I think you should be focused on being able to be disciplined and saying no
Yep.
So that way, when the time comes to take a trip, you can have excess to do it and not have to worry about things,
100%.
right? Discipline, even in seasons of yeses, is important. Saying no when you can say yes is still important, because just because you can do something does not mean that you should do
Yeah.
something. And if she only love you for what you can do, then will she love you when you have to do what you should do?
Right. Man, that's good. That's really good. I'm going to tag 2 points with this one.
Let's hit it.
If you want her to fall in love with you and not with your hand, get to work. Get to work, right? Even if you aren't where you want to be,
Yeah.
show her that you're on your way,
Yeah.
right? A woman wants to know that you have a plan, that you have drive, and that you have purpose,
Mm.
right? Um, you know, you know me for years, brother.
Mhm.
When I met my lady, I was driving Uber,
Mhm.
working at the restaurant,
Mhm.
and out seeing clients as an intern,
Yeah.
right? I would do 5 to 6 hours of Uber Eats. I would do, depending on the days, 10-hour shifts at the restaurant, right? And by any means, I was gonna make it happen. But I
Mhm.
also was studying my butt off,
Mhm.
right? And we'll have conversation. I'm letting her know that, all right, this is what I'm planning on doing. This is what I'm working on. This is what I just got through executing. You know what I'm saying? This job right here wasn't really doing what I need to do, so I'm gonna transition over here. But I'm gonna be able to make this happen with this. And she said, by your work ethic and the sacrifices that you make and the time and the effort that you put into the things you put into, I know that you'll never be a broke man.
That's simple.
And she was just like, you don't make excuses.
Mhm.
You don't wait around for opportunities. Like your mind is always racing on how to do this and how to do that. Very similar to you. I bought my lady a MacBook and she was like in complete shock when I
Mhm.
surprised her with it. She was like, wait, what? Why'd you
Mhm.
do that?
Mhm.
How'd you do that?
Mhm.
I said, baby, hard work.
Hard work.
I spent a couple more hours here. I spent a couple more hours here. But we're no, it ain't no buts.
Yeah.
Like I love you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to do the work, right? And goes to your last point. Yes, there's gonna be a lot of times I'm gonna have to say no. There
Mhm.
were many times that challenged our relationship
Mhm.
when I had to say no,
Hmm.
right? And I had to tell her, and I understand that what you've used to dating, these are men that are in their careers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
These are professionals.
Yeah.
I'm still a student. I'm still in the process of becoming. And right now, I can't do that.
Yep.
Right now, we can't go there. Now
Mhm.
I know you have the means to do it by yourself.
Mhm.
By all means, if that's what you have to do,
Yep.
I respect it.
Yep.
But the way I want to be able to travel with you, the
Yeah.
way I want to be able to splurge in you, if I do it right now when I don't have it, it's gonna cost me somewhere else. So I'd
Yes.
much rather continue to grind, continue to serve you, continue to pour into my craft, pour into these books so I can give the best to my clients because the better I am as a clinician, the more money I make.
Mhm.
The more money I make, the more we
The
can
more
do.
we can do.
Right? So and she respected it
Yeah.
because I gave her a plan. I showed her my plan,
Mhm.
and every single time I showed her my plan, she saw me check off the boxes,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh, he's working."
Yeah.
So if you want her to fall in love with you, now with your hand, be a man that has a plan, be a man that has drive, be a man that has motivation, be a man that has purpose.
That's the key, man.
Yep,
Bro, you said a lot right there. But I think that that's the cheat code, man, for men that are in their process of developing, and you may not have a lot to show for it tangibly just yet,
yep.
right? And you can't even do the things, quote unquote, things if you wanted to. That's some cats right now. They're like, man, I can't even be the cat that leave in my hand because I ain't got nothing
No,
to put out
literally.
there. But the reality of that is this.
Yeah,
Like you just said, I think a woman will fall in love with the purpose and the vision if you can communicate it
yep.
to her and she can see the consistency behind it.
Has to be able to
Don't
see it.
just be talking it and then your day to day when y'all get on the phone that day don't have nothing to do with it.
Yep,
It's been 3 weeks and there hasn't been anything that you haven't talked about this. Everything is still at the same stage.
yep,
It's always some reason why it's not getting done.
yep,
Do you want this or do you not?
yep.
And that's going to tell her everything she needs to know.
Yep, you can judge a tree by its fruit,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? And the last point I want to make, and we can both jump on this as we got a few more minutes left. If you want to become a man that she can fall in love with and not just your hand, stay in your word,
Hmm.
right? Um, it says I'm gonna read exactly what I wrote. When you make Christ your focus, you put yourself in a position to eliminate distractions, counterfeits, liabilities, and users,
Hmm.
right? You increase your discernment on who to date and how to date. You enhance your ability to flee from temptation. So the woman that you know for a fact you shouldn't be with, you know how to flee from that. It increases your convictions.
Hmm.
So if I'm trying to be Christ-like, I'm going to be intentional, and I'm going to love, and I'm going to operate in all the fruits of the spirit. And if I'm not doing that, then I will be convicted.
When we talk about going into schools and organizations and doing workshops for them, when we talk about going into youth groups and nonprofits and making sure that they have an empowered mindset to achieve the goals that they want in life, that's going to take a lot of focus. That's going to take some motivation. It's going to take some exploring deep into who you are
Yep.
and identifying where you want to go. And we have to reignite some fire within you sometimes. And so if you're looking for a speaker that can come into your organization, your school, your group, your church, and really be able to not only empower you, but lead a cultural change that's going to produce the results you want. That's going to create an environment that is on focus and discipline and consistency, producing all the results and the fruit that you want to yield. I want you to go to milesthemillennial.com, fill out a free booking form so we can sit down and talk through your needs and design a proposal that is going to fit every single thing you're trying to achieve and then produce those results in real life. We
Yes.
thank you guys so much for our time today. And before we go, we have got to shout out our sponsor, man, Natural E Man. You know, this product does us so good. It's been a while, man, that we've been using this product, and I can say that I've seen a lot of tangible improvements in
Yep.
my life. Right, my energy is better every single day. Um, Sexually, I'm abstaining, but just know I know that when it's time, when the Lord says it's time to consummate this marriage, this is going to be something that definitely helps along the way. Rex, you've been using it as well. What do you think about Natural E-Man products?
Man, I'm a relationship guy. So the very first thing I want to say, I appreciate the man that created it,
Mm,
right? Dr. Q, man, he's a really great guy. He really put his heart, mind, and soul into creating something that is not only good for the man, but he also created a product for women as well. For me personally, the energy that I get from it, um, it makes me feel absolutely amazing, prepares me for my day, prepares me for my workouts, especially when I go to the gym late sometimes. I know it's not best to take things that has a lot of energy in it before you go to the gym, but I'm still able to do it. My sleep quality is a lot better. I don't wake up in a frenzy. I don't wake up with brain fog. I actually feel a lot more clear going throughout my days. I don't have a crash, right? And a lot of stuff that you take, you get hit with a crash and you feel extremely tired. But I don't experience that with Natural E-Man. And then from just the sexual side of things, man, you feel like you're able to stand up tall.
mm. Hey,
Hey, so
that's the truth.
fellas, if you are in the market and you want to put down the honey pack, you want to put down all the things that you may go find, the blue chews and stuff you may go find in the gas station, man, pick up Natural E, man, and really put something in your body that's going to bless you.
That's amazing, man. We don't need y'all dying of an early heart attack
No,
because y'all taking them gas station pills.
literally.
Take you something that's all natural, that's really going to improve your overall health. Shout out to Natural E, man. And thank you all so much for tuning in to today's episode. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.